welcome back to Tormented Souls 2. Oh my god, I'm in love with this game. It is brutal, man. In certain places, it's absolutely brutal. They know how to drain your resources. And they constantly go, do you want to make it harder for yourself? Perhaps you want to save before you do this, or maybe not. We had found the town. It's a big location. We found the town, which has a mall, a train station, and a processing plant. And a lot of the early part of this is going through the mall. The mall isn't huge, but it's not like Dead Rising or something. But what it is windy and inconvenient with a lot of very dark shadows that lead to just monsters hiding out in shops and things like that. And a very tense moment of having to reactivate the power. The way they structure this is to make you walk through most of the mall in the pitch black with a lot of noises and creepiness going on. And the actual place you can reactivate the power is right at the very end. So you actually walk past a ton of loot. I don't think I've explained this mechanic to you guys, but you physically can't draw a weapon in the dark because there's something lurking in the dark that will kill you. You have to have the lighter out. So you can walk past a ton of loot or something you could break, breakable objects, which usually have some more loot in them, and you can't touch them because the second you put your lighter away to get a weapon out or to actually pick something up, you'll start dying. So you can't do that. It's a very good way of getting you to plot out where you are and things you have to do later before you can actually engage with that mechanic. And once you reactivate the power, you also activate all the mechanical pigs. These things are an interesting design of enemy. They don't have much health, but good God, do they hurt. They hurt a lot, like a hell of a lot, man. They take you down to danger really quick, so you've got to be careful when you hear Oinkers is coming for you. And of course, activating the power kind of turns on all the enemies, and a huge amount of them as well. Going through this place, there were certain rooms with 3 or 4 enemies waiting for you, and you do want to clear them out. I managed to get away with not killing just one, because I could kite him around a little bit, again, to conserve resources more than anything else, while discovering the story of the town, namely Miguel. Miguel, who's also looking around the town. You keep finding his diary entries of looking for his sister Isabella. She's here somewhere, and he's looking for her, similar to you. Once you get through the mall, though, you get access to the processing plant, and you actually meet Miguel. This is beyond Joseph, who's an odd character, let's say the least, who wanted the Necronomicon. Miguel is the first living person we've bumped into, besides the intro of the game where the nuns met us. Since the very opening cutscene, this is the first living person we've met. And I was like, oh, is this going to be a love interest, or is it going to be, somebody who comes along with us in some way? But no, you have a brief meeting. He's on his mission to find his sister. You're on your mission to find your sister. And it's not going to... You're not on the same paths. He's already checked certain areas, so you just agree that if one of you finds the other one's sister, then, you'll come back to them. But we're going up to the processing plant. You get locked in here, clearly indicating, look, you have to complete this area before we're going to do anything else whatsoever. And you'll eventually... This is one of those things that I find difficult, but just go with it. It's not entirely logical because it's a giant wooden board that holds over you. Now, it does have sort of demonic hands that hold it, but very quickly you pick up a crowbar, which is your next version of the melee weapon. You go from hammer to crowbar, and you'd be like, well, the crowbar should work on the wood, right? And it's like, no. Okay, we'll assume there's some sort of demonic magic holding this wood in place. But essentially what they're saying is when you complete the area, we will allow you to open this up because there's another one of these wooden blocks in the mall. And it's like, okay, just wait till you get the right tool for the job, so to speak. This processing plant is the biggest area of the game so far. It is way bigger than the opening mansion/convent that you're going to go through, and it is brutal. It is absolutely brutal. It's 4 floors, and this is the part of the game that's really explaining what's going on, kind of, and expanding on the villains, namely Mother Lucia. So tons of puzzles here. One that was a real pain in the backside until we figured it out, which is there are paintings on the wall, and then there's buttons on the floor in front of the paintings. And you have to recreate what's happening in the painting. So the painting might show a woman with a torch in a wood, so you hold the lighter up. That activates that painting. Then it might show a blacksmith, so you get the hammer out and swing it. That activates that one. One of them was to do a pirouette, which you can't do with the thumbstick. That got stuck for ages. I was like, I mean, I'm doing it, but if you use the D-pad, you spin on the spot, then it works. You have to stay perfectly still to do it there. And the other one was showing a bow and arrow. I spent ages here holding a gun out. I even matched the shadow, like aiming into the distance, even fired off some rounds, precious rounds, to deal with this. Didn't work. Ultimately, it concluded there must be a bow somewhere in the game that's actually going to match this up. Sure enough, there is. We found it very shortly after. I was like, oh, okay. Stuck there for a while. But fun puzzles nonetheless. It's stuff you would expect from this kind of game with a little bit of thinking going on to figure them all out and then try different things to get them to solve. And another boss, which we fought down in this area as well. This now brings the different enemy variety up to 5, I think, including the crabs that you fight down here because it's a fish processing plant. So they have a docking area, which now equals, I think, Silent Hill F. Just to keep that record going for you guys. There's now as much enemy variety in this. Definitely not Silent Hill F production level of game than there is there. And they're done really well. The crabs can leap on you and grab you. They're essentially face huggers that are from Alien that are attacking you here. And tons of fun stuff. Lots of back and forth to do. There was a puzzle. I wonder how many people got stuck here. I kind of want to Google it later. Is that you have a door panel that needs batteries. Now, a different section, you pick up a Walkman. Now, because I'm telling you these things, you're probably going to piece it together. And some of you will go, what the hell is a Walkman? Which is a very 90s device that played cassettes. It's an old MP3 player for the sake of it, but you had cassettes that you put in. And it occurred to me while I was running around, because I'm old, I was like, can I just take the batteries out of the Walkman and put them in here? That is the solution. And it really got me thinking, it's like, how many people even know about that? Because so many people have grown up with only USB charging. Never be, like, outside of remote controls, probably, of swapping batteries backwards and forwards, something I had to do all the time as a kid. Is take the batteries out of this one, put the batteries in that one, and then swap them back again. I'm curious how many people got stuck on that puzzle, because I did for a while. I was like, we got to find some batteries, and then it occurred to me, we were walking around for a while, like, what is the next step? And it's like, we really need to find some batteries, and we need to find some way of wedging a shark's mouth open to get some loot. But we then found that the picture puzzle I just told you about actually gave you a car jack. So I was like, that's how we do the shark. So we need to solve that. And then we need to find the bow to do this. But how do we get the batteries? And then it occurred to me, it's like, oh, God. Can you do this? Yep, you can totally do that. Really fun. But yeah, Mother Lucia. One thing I complained about in a couple of the other games that we've played is like no real antagonist. That was in any way like, I hate this person. Outside, like even in Yakuza, we had this problem where A-chan was the main villain. Mother Lucia has been on screen once, I think, at the very beginning of the game. Yet through just a couple of snippets of diary entries and from what we've seen, she's becoming very clearly like incredibly sinister. One of the things we discovered as we're moving through here is that these cult members who believe that if they do everything and they are sin-free and they manage to sacrifice twins to summon their deity, will go to heaven and sing alongside God forever. That's their game plan. But we then discover that at some point they had to sacrifice their firstborn children and eat them. They had to give up their kids, and then they were ritualistically killed and then cooked and eaten. And we find the evidence of that. And one of the thoughts I had is, that doesn't add up, because we know that it's twins that are the only ones who can... twin blood is special, and individual children aren't twins or not. So I was like, that's really weird. And then it occurred to me, I wonder if this was done just to reinforce their faith. Like the sunk cost fallacy of sacrificing your child is definitely in there. Yeah, that is exactly what was going on. Mother Lucia suspected that their faith was waning because it wasn't progressing. And so she just came up with the idea of like, I'm just going to tell them that they have to, God has spoken to me and you have to sacrifice your firstborn child in order to cleanse yourself of all sin. And then she's like, lol, they all did it. Haha. Like, I can't believe it. That actually totally worked. It's a response in her diary. I was like, wow, what a bitch. This is one evil lady. This is a super lady. And I can't wait to kick her teeth in at some point. But the main progress of the story we've had is we find a freezer section where they've been locking the kids away. And inside there is the body, decapitated body of a girl with a locker that has been, is positioned in such a way that an air vent was open and a creature managed to sneak in and kill her. And later on in the game, we get to go back in time through a video thing, which is something that happened in the first game. It's not unusual in this franchise to be able to travel back in time. And so we travel back in time, and you can go back into that room and then move the locker to block the air vent, which should then prevent that girl from being decapitated. So once you do that and you go back, you actually find out it is your sister. You find her. You find Anna. However, Anna is now the same age as you. What? What? She's been trapped here for 14 years. For us, it's been a couple of hours. But for her, it's been 14 years. And she's now the same age as Caroline, as the played character. And it's all confused. And she's obviously not happy that she got abandoned by her sister. She doesn't understand what's happened. But she's like, you left me. I was here with you and you left me. You abandoned me to these people. And they've kept me locked up. I've been a prisoner for 14 years. Screw you. And like locks her in. Like, you can stay here now, right? She betrays her and seals her in and says, you spend the next 14 years here. No problem. This is where we got to. I don't understand what's going on here. Whether there's some... I don't understand why they did it. That's the question. Because they must have captured Anna and then sent her back. And then moved her back in time 14 years to come back to modern day to be the same age. So I wonder if there's something to do with the twins having to be the same age for the summoning to work. That's where I suspect it's going. But it's an odd decision to capture her and then move her back in time to have this happen. And this is the intrigue. I love this. This is great. Like, why? Why did this have to happen? What was the relevance to it? How does this play into the next part of the story, which we'll be moving on to next time? We're going to be playing Digimon on the stream because I'm excited for it and it seems really fun. And then finishing this in sort of post-stream. We'll be doing it live, but it'll be after our main stream is the game plan. But what a game. Can't recommend it enough. And if anything I've said here entices you, check it out because combat's decent. It's not brilliant. But the exploration, puzzle solving, all fun. All really fun. I'll come back to you when I know more. Bye, guys.